Wagwan. Today I have a horror movie to tell you about, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. Also, thanks for all the views, likes, comments and subscribers so far to the channel, I really appreciate it. In 1799, Ichabod Crane, a New York City police constable, criticized for his favoritism of scientific methods, is dispatched to the upstate Dutch hamlet of Sleepy Hollow, which has been plagued by a series of brutal decapitations. A wealthy father and son, Peter and Dirk Van Garrett, and a widow, Emily Winship. Received by the insular town elders, wealthy businessman Baltus Van Tassel, town doctor Thomas Lancaster, the Reverend Steenwick, notary James Hardenbrick, and magistrate Samuel Phillips. Ichabod learns that locals believe the killer is the undead apparition of a headless Hessian mercenary from the American Revolutionary War who rides a black steed, in search of his missing head. Ichabod begins his investigation, skeptical of the paranormal story. Boarding at the home of Baltus Van Tassel and his second wife, Lady Van Tassel, he is taken with Baltus' spiritual daughter, Katrina. When a fourth victim, Jonathan Maspath, a servant in the Van Garrett household, is killed, Ichabod takes the victim's son, young Maspath, under his wing. Ichabod and Maspath exhume the victims on a tip from Phillips, learning that the widow died pregnant. After Phillips tells this to Ichabod, the horseman comes and decapitates Phillips, before absconding with his head. Ichabod, young Maspath, and Katrina venture into the western woods, where a witch living in a cave reveals the location of the horseman's grave at the Tree of the Dead. He digs up the horseman's grave, and discovers the skull has been taken, deducing that it has been stolen by someone who now controls him and that the tree is his portal into the living world. That night, the horseman kills village midwife Beth Killian and her family, as well as Katrina's suitor Brom Van Brunt, when he attempts to intervene. Ichabod hypothesizes that the horseman is attacking select targets linked by a conspiracy. He and Maspath visit Hardenbrick, who reveals that the first victim, Peter Van Garrett, had secretly married the widow, writing a new will that left his estate to her and her unborn child. Ichabod deduces that all the victims, except Brom, are either beneficiaries or witnesses to this new will, and that the horseman's master is the person who would have otherwise inherited the estate, Baltus, a Van Garrett relative. Upon discovering the accusation, Katrina burns the evidence. Hardenbrick commits suicide, and Steenwick convenes a town meeting to discredit Ichabod, but Baltus bursts into the assembly at the church, announcing that the horseman has killed his wife. The horseman attacks the church, but is unable to enter. In the chaos, the remaining elders turn on each other. Steenwick kills Lancaster, and is in turn killed by Baltus, who is then suddenly harpooned and dragged through a window and out of the church by the horseman, who subsequently acquires his head. Initially concluding that Katrina controls the horseman, Ichabod discovers that the diagram she drew beneath his bed and in the church during the meeting, which he believes summoned the horseman, is really one of protection, and additionally finds that a wound on Lady Van Tassel's decapitated body was caused post-mortem. Lady Van Tassel, alive and well, emerges from the shadows and reveals herself to Katrina as the master of the horseman. She faked her death and used the planted headless body of the Van Tassel servant girl, Sarah, whom she had killed previously. She takes Katrina to a local windmill and explains her true heritage from an impoverished family, evicted years ago by Peter Van Garrett when he favored Baltus and his family instead. She swore revenge against Van Garrett and all who had wronged her family, pledging herself to Satan if he would raise the horsemen to avenge her by killing them, which would also allow her to claim the Van Garrett and Van Tassel estates uncontested. Manipulating her way into the Van Tassel household, she used fear, blackmail, and lust to manipulate the other elders into her plot. Having eliminated all other heirs and witnesses, as well as her sister, the Crone Witch, for aiding Ichabod, she summons the horseman to finish Katrina. Ichabod and Maspath rush to the windmill as the horseman arrives. After an escape that destroys the windmill and a subsequent chase to the Tree of the Dead, Ichabod retrieves the horseman's skull from Lady Van Tassel and returns it to him, breaking the curse and setting the horseman free from Lady Van Tassel's control. With his head restored, the horseman spares Katrina and abducts Lady Van Tassel, giving her a bloody kiss and returning to hell with her in tow, fulfilling her end of the deal. Ichabod returns to New York with Katrina and young Maspath, just in time for the new century. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Check out my other videos here. Later.